I think big data is important in every market. I think the pensions industry ignores data and its use at its peril. I think the interesting thing is when people say, what is big data? The answer to that is data. Big data is any data that you've got that you can draw some insight from. So the reality is most companies have already got big data. The question is, are they using it to their advantage and to the advantage of their customers or members? I think the question here that companies have got to ask themselves is, how well do I really know my customers? And what is the engagement level like with customers? Because again, if we're honest, the answer is we talk at customers and we talk at members. We send them information and we hope or we expect that they engage with it and understand it. The reality is that's not what happens. People will read maybe the first paragraph and then stop understanding what's written on the piece of paper, and then they'll bin it. So I think how it's disrupting things is that companies outside of our industry are seeking to understand our customers' preferences on their long-term savings at a completely different level, having understood those customers at a completely different level than anybody in our industry has probably done so far. So they're getting more and more data on customers, so they understand your customers better than you do. If they translate that through into propositions, then we'll see some real disruption in the market. Well, I think most companies think that they've got the primary relationship with customers because they're a member of their pension scheme or they have a pension policy with them. I think the key is going forward, customers want to trust. We all as consumers want to trust somebody because we get so many media messages from everywhere that we want somebody to hold our hand and cut through all of that white noise and give us some rules of thumb that we can follow to make sure that we plan our money world better than we do at the moment. So I think companies that come in and understand you as a consumer better than anybody else and start to create a real relationship with you will start to be able to dictate your next best actions, and they might or might not be aligned to your company strategy. So if you want to take control of your customer relationship, you're going to have to do something about it because there are companies who are out there who are thinking about doing that to you. You might be happy just being a supplier, in which case it's absolutely fine. But most companies that we've engaged with are saying that they want to have a primary relationship with customers. If they want to do that, they're going to have to engage with data. An embedded relationship is really difficult because people think it's all about the depth of the relationship. So is it enough that we know lots about you? And if we know lots about you, then we must have an embedded relationship, surely. Well, that's not really the answer, because if you think about your own personal relationships, the people you are closest to are the people who know you the best, and you probably engage with them on a regular basis, maybe every day, you ring them or text them, or certainly every week. So the two key things are the depth of what you know about somebody and the frequency with which you can hold a conversation with them. Now, the inherent problem for the pensions industry is it's all long term. It's all deferred gratification. In 30 years, your pension will be worth. But actually what people want as well is they want to engage with their now money. So firms need to think of ways in their engagement strategy to engage with customers' today money concerns. And if they can get the trust from customers that they are a good source of information and guidance on their today money concerns, they're much more likely to trust them with their longer term money ambitions. So consent management's really important, and that's because we are going to live in a world where data is being democratized, it's being opened up, and it's being placed in the hands of the consumer. Now, they've got two problems. They don't know how to look after that data, keep it safe, and they don't know how to get value for it. Now, if companies want to access that data for that customer such that they can then provide them with really personalized offers, they're going to have to get the customer's consent to that data, because you can't use it without the customer's consent, right? So the thing that triggers consent, though, is again an inherent problem for our industry, because what triggers consumer consent is immediate value exchange. Now, we don't have that, because again, as I said when we talked a little bit before, pensions are not an immediate thing. They might be if you're a day away from retirement, but generally speaking, they're not an immediate thing. So what is it that you can provide of immediate value to the customer such that they say, actually, it's worth me giving you consent to this data? So I think companies are going to have to think about how they change the nature of their proposition such that they can offer that immediate value to customers and therefore get the consent on the data to then build a much more personalized offer for them. Well, my advice here would be not to jump in at the deep end. The danger is that companies go, we want to go from 0 miles an hour to 100 miles an hour in one step. The first step is really to say, what data do we currently have? Okay? How clean is that data? How reliable is that data? And have we got that data in one single place that we can interrogate it? If you've got those things sorted, then you've got a brilliant foundation from which you can then build, and you can start to say, can we add more data in? What does this data tell us about a customer that we can change the nature of our communication with them? But the starting point is understand what data you've currently got, understand how clean it is so you can rely on the insights that you can draw from it, and put it all into one place, one single customer view, so that you can use that as a base from which to build. Well, if they want to find out more, they contact Experian. We have a specific life and pensions business now, so they can come to us and ask us any questions around the use of data, protecting data, storing data. We believe passionately that the pensions market has got quite a journey to go on in terms of how it's going to better engage with customers. Almost the biggest question is, what's our starting point? So we'd be delighted to work with any company that wants to take that first step. So yeah, by all means contact us via the website and we can certainly help.